take it. I'm sorry. And then is the congresswoman on her way?
Yes.
Will you tell her to take the train and come on?
My name is Rachel Green, and I teach here at a school in Acres Home. And I know that we talked about the children, and I like what you said about being able to go to a child's house or walk down a child's street. My thing is it's very disheartening. Let's say teaching 3rd and 4th grade, and you have kids. And I'm not talking about graduating.
Right.
But you have kids with so many social and emotional issues that you have to try to deal with that before they're in a mode to even receive it.
Right.
And so it's very disheartening when it looks like you don't have the necessary resources. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about the students. You don't have the necessary resources to service this job. And so it's like kids are being set up for failure. Now, research, I mean, this has been made 10 years ago. More than 10 years maybe, that jails and prisons are built based on the number of African American students or boys who are behind reading levels. So if you come to me in the 3rd grade and you can't read, or you can't, I'll say something simple as 6 plus 11, you can't add. And I know schools get money based on, you know, the amount of taxes or revenue that they generate. And so some schools don't have.
Right.
But like you said, it's about the kids.
Right.
And it spirals down to what this lady said, how hard they become and how hopeless they become. And I'm just going to say, I just have to wonder, how does a kid get to me in the 3rd grade and you can't read on a 1st grade level?
And I think that, number one, I know that's a very important question. Let me say to you what, in my experience, what I think the city of Houston needs to do, even as it relates to education. I'm not seeking to be the superintendent of HISD or Klein or Arden. But I am seeking to champion this city. And you really can't have a city that's growing and booming, and people are coming from all over the globe, and the economy is moving in one direction, and your educational system is moving in another. Amen. They have to be moving in the same direction. Now, I will tell you, in my 26 years in the legislature, I have never had, let's say, someone from the city of Houston or their lobby team come to me in the legislature and say, push for more school funding. We need more school funding. We need you all to support these schools. Well, the school system and the city of Houston's interests are not mutually exclusive. As go the schools, so will go the city. Right. One of the things as mayor of the city of Houston, understanding how the legislative process works, and that's where most of the funding comes from, is that issue has to be on the agenda for the city of Houston. So when the city of Houston is sending its lobby team, and it has a strong lobby team, send its lobby team to Austin, they have to advocate for our schools. They have to champion that. They have to tell legislators this is important to the city. You can't simply ignore that. So that's an important component. The other thing is that the mayor has to sit down and talk with the superintendent. Because the way that once you get the money from Austin and it comes to the school district, then the school district, the superintendent and the board decide how the money will be divvied up. Right. And so if you have a school and you're losing population, that school district then reduces the amount of money going to that particular school. And the schools, in many ways, that need the money the most are receiving the least. And so it becomes a double-edged sword, so to speak, working against it. And you have to sit down and talk to the school superintendent and say, wait a minute, let's make sure that we're all on the same page. Because if you start closing and consolidating schools in a community, you end up adversely impacting that community. A community community cannot survive very long without quality schools in their neighborhood.
That's right.
Hold on 1 second, because Laura, I do want you to chime in.
Yeah, and one thing also, the
That's Laura
atmosphere.
Robinson too.
Hi again, I'm Lori Robinson. Sylvester, one thing that raised concern, I'm a small business owner, and I would love to be able to have interns, paid interns, you know, to do that. And it's just very difficult as a small business owner. I know the city had a program where they would have hired people, children, teenagers in the summer for work program. Is there any way we could just put aside, or when you become mayor, put some money aside to start doing that and get all the small businesses, minority, you know, all the small businesses together so we could have some type of program to, because it would benefit us,
Right.
and then it would train our students also.
And I think, and that is a critical component. And again, you got to bring those resources to the table. Businesses, corporations, who I think would gladly do it if we simply ask.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we've got to tackle this on many, many different levels. You spoke about it in the back. You spoke about the kids that feel resistant to influence. You're speaking about kids that are coming to you at the 3rd grade level, not meeting or functioning on a 3rd grade level. And what I would say to you, there's nothing inherently wrong with our children that we cannot fix. Okay? I'm not unique. Sandra, Leonard Smith, over here, right here. We're not unique. Ethel Harrison, we all grew up together, who's now teaching in the school system, being a nurse, and I've listened to Ethel talk about the kids that she's having to deal with. And I've listened to her, how she's gone and utilized her own resources to take care of those kids.
Yes.
And then how she's tapped the rest of us to take care of those kids. So we have dedicated people in the system, okay? But no one person, no one group can win this battle by him or herself. This is a collective battle. And collectively, we can win it. Now, we have the resources, but they're siloed all over the place. Now we got to bring those resources together and design a plan that's comprehensive that can make a meaningful difference. I hear what you're saying, but if given the opportunity, I certainly would like to take the opportunity to sit down and talk with the superintendents in our region, talk with legislators, talk with other members of city council, and let's design a comprehensive plan to save all of our children. By chance, if we, and you can't, you know, we won't be able to save everyone, but let us not be indicted for not doing our part, okay? And then we have to encourage parents to be parents. Let me just say this. When you come out of a family of 9, and neither one of my parents graduated from high school, but my parents ran 3005 Starling Drive. Okay? They knew everything that was going on in 3005 Starling. They said we're sending you to school to learn. And they were parents in every sense of the word. There is nothing that I will be able to do as your mayor. There is nothing people can do as city council, Laura being there and others, that can substitute for parents being parents. And lastly on this note, you may not have liked the way the mother responded to that kid in Baltimore. Let me just say that it may not have been the best parenting tool. But her son, and what got me, what the point that I noted, is that the son recognized the mother's voice. Even before seeing her. one city thing. Parents got to do their part, school district got to do their part, city has to do its part, and when we work collectively, we can make things happen. I think we've missed our way because everyone is being territorial. Everybody's just trying to do his or her own thing. And it just doesn't work with maximum efficiency. Okay? And then everybody's focusing on their little special interest. You know, if it's good for the city, if it's good for your family, it's good for me. I just want the city to work. And I want it to work well. One last comment, and then they telling me I must head to the. I was waiting on the congresswoman, but she must be in Iraq.